If you're like me and you love thrifting and getting your clothing secondhand, then this video is going to be right up your street, because today we are emphasizing just how great thrifting really is with our new series, Thrifting versus New Items in My Wardrobe. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. The day that this video goes up is actually my 27th birthday, so happy birthday to me. I cannot believe I'm 27, guys. Feels like yesterday I was just turning 21. They really do say that your 20s go by quick, and honestly they have. But in today's video we are starting a new series which I'm actually very excited for, because you guys know how much I love thrifting. It's what got me started on YouTube, on this channel in particular, and yet you all love my thrifting videos and I love taking you shopping secondhand. And so today we are going to be comparing thrifted items versus new items. I'm breaking that down. Thrifted item, what does a thrifted item mean? Basically, this is going to be any item that I bought from a second-hand store or retailer. So it could be a car boot, it could be on Vinted or eBay, it could be in a vintage store, anything that is essentially pre-loved and has had a life before me. On the other side, we're going to have new, and this is not necessarily brand new clothing that I've just bought. I'm referring to things that have come from high street or retail stores. They've been made specifically to be in that retail store. So places such as H&M, ASOS, Topshop via ASOS. I'm trying to think where else do I shop? Anyway, on that note, we are going to jump straight to this video. I think I have 4 to 5 items that we're going to be comparing today. I want you guys to get involved and leave comments down below. Feel free to pause the video if you want and then comment, or watch to the end and then leave your opinions. But I want you to communicate and chat in the comments. I will be there as well. Let me know truthfully which item you prefer, if you prefer the thrifted one or the new one. It'll be so fun and great to have these discussions down below. I also want to say, like, it is completely okay if you do prefer the new one. I think a lot of us feel like we have to pick the thrifted one. I'm not going to make this series on the basis of that, because I want this just to be like a truthfully open conversation. I buy old and I also buy new. I've definitely cut down on the new that I do buy, and so I want my community to feel like you can be honest and truthful. At the end of the day, we are all doing our very best to cut down on consumption and help the environment as much as possible, and all we can really do is our best, and we shouldn't make each other feel bad for that. Okay, so with that in mind, let's get started with our item number 1. I couldn't start this series without including this, so up first we've got our leathers. Now, we all love a leather jacket. It is a staple in our wardrobes. If you don't own any leather jacket, then where have you been? What are you doing? Maybe you don't like leather, and that's fine, but I feel like a leather jacket has to be a staple in a wardrobe. It is perfect for daytime, nighttime, all year round. In my opinion, you can really layer them up with jumpers. You can wear them in the summer but like a light little top underneath, especially here in the UK. And so if you're looking for an item that maybe you want to invest in and you want to own for many years to come, maybe you want it to be a hand-me-down to your family members, then a leather jacket is definitely that piece. But how does a thrifted leather jacket compare to a new leather jacket? Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start with the thrifted, and the one that I have today I got off Depop or Vinted. I have shown this jacket multiple times and I can never remember whether it came from Depop or Vinted, so apologies for that, but it came from one of them. I used to own a jacket like this in uni and I adored it. I wore it on so many nights out. I felt like the coolest uni student ever. And yeah, when I left uni I lost that jacket, sadly, and I think I've had this for like 2 years now. About 2 years ago I was just sitting at home and I just had this craving to find one that was similar to the one that I had in uni, and so I got on Vinted and Depop and I was browsing for up to a week, and I actually ordered one and it did not look like what it looked like on the picture, and I was really disappointed, but I managed to sell it on, which I was happy about. So then I went to like round 2, and that's when I stumbled upon this one, and this one was £30. My budget for this leather jacket was £30, so that's all I wanted to spend. A lot of them secondhand will put you back a fair amount, and that is because vintage leather is really, it's desired. A lot of people want it, and it's because it's long lasting. So when we're talking about long lasting, vintage leather is definitely going to be something that will do that for you. And when we're talking about investing, although we might think that, you know, secondhand is cheaper than new, I actually think that when it comes to vintage leather, secondhand could probably be more expensive. You can expect to pay, I mean, I don't know, they could go up and up and up, but I would say over £200 is what some people will probably price their secondhand leather at. I got a really good deal with this one. It is so heavy, £30, and I just really wanted one with these kind of like biker flaps. I love the buttons. I think they're really unique and different, and yeah, it just has that biker vibe. It's not too oversized, but still gives off like the oversized look that I did want. And the thing about it, it's actually super heavy, and that makes it really warm because it's such like a heavy thing on your back. You instantly like just feel warmer. Okay, so this jacket actually has pockets in as well. It has 2 pockets inside, a pocket on the outside, and yeah, this is what it looks like. So as you can see, it's a bit like a boxy style. Love these pockets. I'm always like this whenever I wear it. My hands go straight into the pockets, like they naturally gravitate towards it. But yeah, if you're looking for something like a little bit more edgy, vintage and secondhand is definitely the way to go when it comes to your leather jacket. If you want a biker, edgy jacket, something that is going to be different to everybody else's, the vintage route is definitely probably for you. And also, if you're looking for something that maybe is a little bit more authentic, then definitely go down the vintage route, because as we're going to get into in a minute, but I feel like a lot of the retail stores, a lot of the new leather jackets try and be vintage, but they never quite capture the vibe. And just don't give up hope, keep looking, and even if you have a budget, just stick to that budget and do not move, because the one that you want will appear in your life just as much as this one did for me. Next up is new. So this leather jacket is from Urban Outfitters, and now I will say that in this video some of these items are going to be slightly different, because obviously I don't have a like new jacket that looks similar to the other one that I've just shown you. The shape of this one is obviously a little bit different, so the comparison is a little bit different, but it's still a leather jacket, and it just kind of shows you what you can expect on the retail market. This one is a bit more of a structure. It's more of like a blazer style jacket. It feels super lightweight, but in like a good way. And what I love about this is the white line stitching. I think it's really nice added detail. It's all on the collars and the pockets as well. It's like all the way around, also on the arms, and that's kind of what gravitated me towards this jacket. It's just a really nice piece, especially in the spring and summer, because it's much lighter than the other one. This one came in at around £60, which I think is way too expensive. I think for the quality is weird. Like, it feels good quality, it feels like it's meant to be light, but also feels a little bit cheap in places. When you're comparing it to the one that I've just tried on, it definitely does just feel a little bit cheaper, almost a little bit plastic-like, but I can get behind that because it's much more like wipeable and loose material. It's not as restricting, but I think when it comes to the price, definitely the vintage one is probably winning. Obviously, different retail stores are going to do different types of leather jackets. You will probably find a lot of biker jackets in your favorite retail stores. Again, this kind of like flopped collar, the strong collar is definitely a theme. This jacket looks really nice when you get your legs out. So if you have like a mini dress or a play suit, this type of jacket is really nice for that. It also gives off the blazer vibe, so if you like blazers like I do, it's a nice way to incorporate black leather in the style and the shape of a blazer. What do we think? Is this one better, or is the thrifted one better? Okay, our next item is going to be fleeces, and this one I'm excited for because it's something that I didn't think we were actually going to do today, and I do want to say that the colours of these are going to make my camera a little bit red, so if it's feeling red now, that is why. But these fleeces I saw in my wardrobe and in Mike's wardrobe, and I was like, oh, that is such a good idea to compare them. So we've got 2 fleeces here, both in different prints, both have zip up kind of neck, areas and pockets, and yeah, we're gonna run through both of them and see which one we prefer. The first one is this blue checkered fleece, and this is the second-hand choice, and I have had this for maybe 6 years now. I think I thrifted it the first year in uni from a pop boutique, and I remember this was £15, so quite cheap, because I feel like these would maybe go for around £30 now. But this is the warmest thing ever. Like, if you need to stay warm, this will allow you to do that. And there's something about vintage and secondhand fleeces, they just feel so much more cozier. They have such a vintage and like authentic vibe to them. Imagine like sitting around a campfire with this. It just has that vintage cool vibe, and that's why I can totally get behind it. I love the checkered, I love the blue. Got these little pull strings on the front, little 2 black ties. This is from a brand called Eagle, which is a vintage brand. I've seen a lot of their stuff secondhand over the years, and yeah, I just love it. It's really soft, and it just goes really nice with jeans as well. It's got this pocket at the bottom. But the ultimate goal of a fleece is to keep you warm, and vintage ones definitely do that, and they come in a variety of different patterns. Again, you have to root for them, but if you're looking for something checked, then you're guaranteed to get that in the vintage section. Okay, the new fleece that we've got is this one, and this is something that my boyfriend Mike has recently bought himself, and I've worn it a few times because I love it. This is from a brand called Gumitry. I think that's how you say it. But this was a very expensive piece. This was retailed at around £130. It's one of those pieces that is definitely an investment piece, but if you feel like you're going to get a lot of wear out of it, then definitely go for it. This print is really unique and cool, and I think it's something that you would not see anywhere. Despite vintage always being the place where you find the unique items, I do think that there are brands out there now who are really upping their game. There's a lot of kind of street style brands, and I've learned a lot of them through Mike and through his style, and Gumitry is one of them. I think I'm saying that completely wrong, I'm so sorry, but this brand is one of them, and they have really unique items and things that you would not be able to find anywhere, even secondhand. I mean, look at this lime green is like incredible, and then it's got purple lining, a purple zip, and then blue. Like, it almost looks like blue dye like throughout it. Like, I just wonder how this was made. The back of it is incredible. It almost gives me like crocodile vibes, but in like a good way. This fleece has actually been tried and tested. We wore this to Disneyland Paris. I wore it one day and Mike wore it the other day, and the day that Mike wore it, it rained so heavy, and he had nothing else. Like, he didn't have like a jacket over this. He had a top under, obviously, then he had this on top, and he didn't have like a poncho or anything. I'm not kidding you guys, we got back to the hotel and this was dry. Like, inside it was so dry. The outside was a bit wet, of course, but inside was dry. Obviously it's new, so it comes at the higher price, but if you're looking for something that is good quality, long lasting, this could potentially be it. Okay, we've made it to item number 3, and next up we are doing bags, which I am very excited for because you guys know how much I love my bag collection. And so with this one, I've got these 2 brown ones, because brown, I went through a phase with bags. I just loved a brown bag, and I bought a lot of them. Starting strong with a bag that I used many times. I've not been using it as much lately, and I don't know why, but when I found this bag in an Age UK charity shop, I just loved it. It was kind of my first experience of actually enjoying a shoulder bag for the first time. Prior to this, I was always a crossbody bag girl. I wasn't really into the shoulder bags, but I think because the strap is so big, it feels super comfortable, so I'm not like worrying all the time of it falling down, even though that was quite an easy fall down, so it made it kind of look like it does fall down often, but it doesn't. Yeah, this one is vintage brown leather. It's a lot more of like a light brown. It's like a light tan leather, I guess, and I'm assuming this is real leather, which obviously is something that you have to be aware of when you're buying leather secondhand. Most of the time it is real leather, so if you're not about that life, which is completely fine, you're probably better to go to like an eco-friendly, you know, leather store, or, you know, do your research basically. I just would love to know the history of this bag, and that's why I love vintage bags, because I just want to know who's the woman that had this bag. Like, who was she? Old? Was she young? Did she have it for years? Did she have it for, you know, just a while? Like, was it a bag that she like grew up with? Was it a hand-me-down from her parents? Like, what is the history of this? I just would love to know, and I'll never know. But I guess that's why I really enjoy secondhand bags. If you've watched me for a while, you'll know that I have a massive secondhand bag collection, and yeah, I just love the history of them and the thought of them. I loved the buckles on this. So it's got this button at the bottom, this gorgeous big like dark gold button kind of whole belt thing on the front, and then you open it up and it just looks like this inside. It's got one pocket here, one pocket here, and then a zip pocket at the back, which we love a zip pocket. It says it's from a brand called Smith and Cambrio. I have to Google that brand. I don't know why I've never done that. But yeah, so it's quite a small bag, but it actually fits a lot in. You also have these two pockets at the front here, and then of course the little strap, shoulder strap to go on your shoulder. Now moving on to the new bag, and we have this one, which is from ASOS. This brown, I would say, is actually like similar, like fairly identical. I think I did a really good job at matching that. The reason why I bought this bag, I would not have bought it because I think the other one is perfect, but I needed a bag for a wedding and I just really wanted a brown one. I feel like this is a very simple and classic bag, and it definitely has a lot less details in comparison to the other one. It is very clean. It's very easy just to wipe down. It's very petite as well. You're not going to get a whole lot in this, but I do think it's a really nice in-between. For years I was completely like not into buying like new bags, or like, you know, a bit more like of a clean simple bag. But as I got older and I realized like I was going to weddings and things like that, I was like, I don't have just like a plain like classic bag. Sometimes you want your bag just to like blend into the back of your outfit, and this one tends to do that. So like the other one, it has got a little flap at the front, although this one is magnetic, and then again inside it's just got a little small pocket and then one pocket at the back. It doesn't have a zip pocket, and yeah, it's only two pockets on the whole bag, so definitely it can't fit as much as you would fit in the other one. But on the whole, it is really cute and it does exactly what it's meant to do. It's a really nice addition to simple outfits and complicated outfits, so it's essentially an all-rounder. The gold hardware on this bag is a little bit more blingy in comparison to the other one. It definitely is a bit more shiny and plastic looking, which I don't love, but both of the bags do have adjustable straps. In this one, it's these small tiny little buttons on the side, so yeah, definitely a toned down version, but an absolutely gorgeous little petite brown handbag. Next up, we've made it to our final item of this video, and next up we are doing blazers, and this one I'm excited for because I think these two are probably the closest we've got when it comes to comparing items. So on that note, blazers, and we have two beige ones here. We have this one, which I got from a charity shop in Liverpool city centre, and then this one is from H&M. Okay, this blazer I am really excited about. It's a new piece in my wardrobe. It's originally from Next and it is a size 14, but I think this is a really good example of thrifted and secondhand clothing, and when the sizing doesn't matter. Don't get me wrong, I have been that person where in the past I've just bought things when they're a size 14, 16 and just been like, oh, it's fine, it's oversized, don't worry. And when I look back, I'm like, yeah, that was a bit too oversized, Jess. So now I'm quite cautious of that, and so I made sure to try this on before I bought it, and it was not too big on me, even though it's a size 14. So this is kind of like a midi length blazer. It's something that I've not seen before. Most blazers will end about here, so it definitely is a little bit longer, but for that reason is why I kind of fell in love with it, because it was giving me a bit more like high fashion chic, you know, like really nice, like, you know, like a really nice pair of jeans, a white top, and this kind of like layered over some slip-on shoes, kind of like the classic Parisian style. I also don't own a lot of things that are beige, so I think it's quite nice to kind of break my wardrobe up a little bit. Now, of course, with blazers, the best thing about vintage blazers is that they, most of the time, I would say 98% of the time they have shoulder pads, and a lot of the new ones will not come with shoulder pads. And shoulder pads, oh, I just love them. They give you that real structure that you need in a blazer. There's just that added detail. It gives that like 80s vibe, which is originally like where blazers came from. So yeah, this one was $7.99, which I actually thought was a really nice bargain, and it's got all the buttons on, these gorgeous light kind of turtle shell buttons. Definitely a great versatile piece. You can dress it up, dress it down, and it's super lightweight, so it's not too heavy, and an item that you can definitely wear all year round. When it comes to blazers in the fashion market, I think the new ones all look the same. They all have the same type of style, whereas the vintage ones, there's a huge variety of them. There's so many to pick from, and yeah, why would you spend so much money on a new blazer when you can get so many options secondhand? So the new blazer that we have is this beige one. This is from H&M originally. It is a cord. It's actually a suit, so it comes with wide leg trousers as well. And I don't think I realized upon like selecting these two how similar they actually are. I've just been talking about tortoiseshell buttons, and I've just realized that this blazer actually has very similar buttons, which is insane. I did not even recognize that. This blazer is definitely a lot more structured. It has a lot more of a kind of like thought process. I feel like it's really been thought through. It's got, you know, a lot more stitching. It's got the stitching down the middle. It definitely feels just a little bit more like a blazer. Like the other one feels a bit more like a light jacket. This definitely just has blazer all around it. This one also, like the other one I forgot to mention, does have a lining in, which is really nice. Feels super nice on your skin. So when it comes to price, this was definitely a lot more expensive. It was around the £40 mark just for the jacket. I think the pants were also £40. So yeah, definitely up there with prices. Is it worth it? I don't know if it's worth £40, to be completely honest. As we've shown with the other jacket, if you do some looking and you root, you can find really similar items, and that one was only $7.99. Also, I've had this for about 2 years, and I have noticed a little bit of pulling on the pocket and that, so I don't know how good the wear and the longevity of this will turn out to be. But yeah, I think in comparison to this and the other one, they are both very similar, but just slightly different fits, and of course definitely different prices. So guys, that was all of my thrifted versus new items. What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below which item you preferred from each round. Was there any clear standout for you guys? Maybe you preferred the new brown bag to the vintage brown bag, or maybe you preferred the thrifted fleece to the new fleece, and maybe the price got you. Let me know in the comments down below, and get ready for round 2 because I'll be making this into a series. And on that note, you can also comment down below any other items that you might like me to compare. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a little bit of fun, and I love you guys lots as always. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.